All right, guys. So I'm gonna start right now. Sorry for the late start. It's just that traffic just coming to the office. I'm only like 10 minutes away, but when there's traffic, it's like either 20 to 30 minutes just to get over here. But let me go ahead and do this. You guys can see that all right?
Yes.
With the whiteboard.
Yes.
Sweet. So, all right, I just wanted to kind of cover a few things really quick today, before getting the day started. So we are here in 2024, a new year, a fresh start for all of us. And it's going to be an interesting year when it comes down to interest rates and everything that's going to be happening with the market. I'm excited for the market. I know you guys are as well. We've been talking about this for the past month or so. And I think one big thing that we're going to be facing here during this year, we're going to be facing a lot of issues, not a lot of issues, but we're going to be hitting a little bit of a few challenges along the way, right? Look, we're all real estate agents here. We all have some experience. Some of us are fairly new. Some of us, have a couple of years under our belt when it comes down to working in real estate, which is great, you know, but it doesn't matter where you're at. What matters is that how willing are you to work and put the time in with your business? Because that's all that really matters at the end of the day. I've seen people who get into the business and right away they close 10, 20 deals in their first year. Other people who get into the business and their first year they close maybe two or three, right? What's the difference between these people, right? It's the same market. The difference really is that willingness to work. And it's more of the mentality, the psychology of business, which I talk a lot, which I love talking about because I understand that it makes a big difference in all of our lives, right? We all have these psychological, like say for instance, barriers or limited beliefs that we have within our subconscious that prevent us from taking our business to the next level. And this is what I really want to talk about today, but I want to show it to you what it looks like, kind of like in a graphical sense, okay? Because the truth is, I mean, I do enjoy math, but the truth is here, like when it comes down to our life and the way it works, there's growth, right? And that growth can be measured on a graph like this, right? So this, the vertical one, think of it as progress, okay? Progress. You can also think of it as the amount of money you make, right? Growth, progress. You can think of it as the amount of money you make, right? This can maybe be, this section here could be maybe $100,000 per year, right? 100K. Then this next section here could be 200K and so forth and so on. So you can think of it this way as well, right? Because I think the amount of money you make is a good measurement of growth, at the very least in your financial area, right? Say for instance, if you want to measure your health, well, you're going to want to use a different type of measurement, right? If progress and growth can be measured through like your overall health, the amount of money you make, how successful your business is, how successful or how happy you are with your relationships, how much you've grown spiritually speaking, how much you've grown as a person, all these different areas where you can kind of measure. Great, you can create one of these for each area of your life. You really can. But in general, this is what it's going to look like. Okay. And so if I use money as an example, which I think is a good measurement when it comes down to your finances, how much money you earn, how much money you make. I think this is great. Now, usually when you start, you're starting down here. Maybe not starting at zero. Maybe some of us started making, we were making 30, 40,000, $50,000 a year, maybe $60,000 a year at one point. And that's fine, right? So you're going to start somewhere around here, right? Let me change the color of this thing so it can stand out a bit more. You start out somewhere around here. And so say you're starting with real estate, you're pretty much going to start with zero, right? Because you're not starting with real estate making money. You may have saved some money to get into real estate. There we're going, right? So we're going to use the example of real estate because we're all realtors here. We're all real estate agents. We all have a business. We're all business owners. We're all entrepreneurs. And so when you start a business, you're not starting boom, making money. You're usually starting at zero, and then you have to kind of build up and start making money. How long that takes you really depends on the individual. But the growth looks like this, okay? It looks like you're growing at the rate of grass. It's really slow at the beginning. It really is, because this column here, the horizontal line here is time, just to clarify. This is time, right? So as you continue to work on your business, you're slightly growing. You probably you get a couple of deals closed. Maybe you're making like maybe within the first 6 months, 7 months, maybe your first year, you make, $30,000-$40,000. Cool, right? Now you're ready. Now you're just growing there. And then eventually it takes off where the growth looks like exponential. It just kind of starts peaking this way, right? And so here's your $100,000. If you break through the $100,000 there, which is great, you break through that barrier. If there was a barrier here for you, like a psychological barrier, what if you believed subconsciously, just say subconsciously you believe like, I don't think I can ever make $100,000 in a year. Like this is what some people believe that, right? Because it's $100,000 in a year sounds like it's so much money. It sounds almost impossible for them to accomplish. Well, they're going to eventually, what happens to them is that they do eventually hit some type of barrier here before they even start making 100,000. And it looks more like this. They kind of hit it. There we go. But they kind of hit it and they bounce off of it. Hit it and they bounce off of it. They hit it and they bounce off of it. Right. And I've seen this happen to a lot of people. Right. They hit, they bounce off, they hit, they bounce off, they hit, they bounce off. And they're just kind of like, sometimes they even go all the way back down to making $50,000 a year. They're making like maybe 70, 80. They're creeping up to the 100,000. And then like what happens to them is that they're subconsciously, they believe they can't really do it. And it's almost as if you self-sabotage. Self-sabotage is a real thing. We're probably all guilty of self-sabotaging, okay? And so they end up maybe, I don't know, holding back more, working less on their business. They think about getting a part-time job, which means they work less as a realtor, right? And they start just going back down to where they're comfortable, which is the $50,000 a year, $40,000 a year, whatever it is. This happens, people, right? And this may happen to you, but I want you to understand if this starts happening to you, the reason it's happening is because you have some psychological barrier about a certain price point of making a certain amount of money. And I really mean this. And this is true within all of us, okay? This is true within all of us, right? If you really don't believe that you can make $100,000 a year, $200,000 a year, $300,000 a year, $500,000 a year, $1 million a year, if you really don't believe you can actually earn this amount of money, then most likely you're not going to make that amount of money. And talking about money here is really important because we're all going to be making money this year, okay? And we're all going to be hitting our psychological barriers. Where is that barrier? And when you hit it, you have to approach it in a way where like, damn, Rick talked about this. Like I can see myself kind of self-sabotaging and holding back when I'm getting so close to hitting the 100K, the 200K, the 300K, whatever it is for you, right? This is normal. And what you need to do is you keep freaking working, okay? You keep working. So it's gonna look like this for you. It's gonna be like you're gonna be hitting it. You're gonna be trying to fucking just hit the 100,000, or whatever it is. And eventually you break through it. You do it. If this happened to me, for me, it was a little different. For me, it was like, I need to make $10,000 in just 1 month in real estate, $10,000. That was my goal. It's like, dude, if I can do $10,000 and just making $10,000 in 1 month in real estate, I break the psychological barrier. That was the psychological barrier for me. Like $10,000 in a month was a lot of money when I first started. And this was back in 2020. And this is how it started for me. Like I hit 2020. I closed the deal in December. Cool. I closed the deal in January. I made like $7,000 in December, make like $5,000 in January. I hit February. I don't close anything. But I get 2 under contract. These are 2 new builds that we're going to close later on in the year. And then I hit March and I closed nothing, right? but I do get one under contract and I close it in April. Great. In April, I close one and I think I got another one under contract in April. Or maybe, no, maybe I didn't. No. And then come May, I close a new build that I got under contract in February, right? Cool. And then May, I got a couple of under contract and I have 3 set to close in June. 3 to close in June. All right. And so in May, I made like maybe $7,000. June, I'm doing my deals and everything. 2 of them get delayed. I only close 1 in June. I make about $6,000. Come July, I closed 4 deals and I made about $30,000 that month. That was my first month that I ever broke $10,000 in a month in real estate. This is back in 2020. Okay. And that was me breaking that barrier. Because I was like, that was it. Because I knew internally that was it, like 10 grand, bro. If I can break 10 grand, I'll be so happy. Like, and I did it. And then every month after that, I did over 10,000. By December of 2020, I made $84,000 that month. So that's how it happens. You keep going until you break that barrier. We all have these psychological barriers, especially when it comes down to money. Okay. The amount of money you guys are making right now is exactly what you believe you deserve to make, subconsciously speaking. Okay. But you're worth a lot more. So what do we got to do? Right. Obviously, keep working is one thing, but also be aware of these barriers. All right. Then you break through. And then maybe your next psychological barrier is like, bro, like, what if I make $200,000 in a year? And like, so you're growing, you're working. It's gradual, and you get closer to it. And maybe this is your next psychological barrier, right? And the same thing's happening. You're getting close to 200,000, but like, damn, like you want to believe, but you don't really truly believe yet. You want to believe, but you don't really truly believe yet. And you're just kind of like getting really close and really close and really close and really close. And then boom, you break through it because you just keep working at it. Okay. This is something that happens to all of us, and it's good. I want you to understand this. This is how it works. Now, here's another thing to understand that's happening during this whole process right here, right? So when you're going from basically zero and you're progressing here, what's really progressing? What's really happening with you, right? What's really going on inside of you? Well, there's 2 things I believe. One thing is you believing in yourself. That's one thing. But the way you end up believing in yourself is that you work your business and you see yourself being successful with your business. You're closing deals, right? That's one thing, that's how you get yourself to believe. Like, you can't really get yourself to believe you're going to close 20 deals in a year if you only have ever closed 3 deals, right? Like for the past, like, I don't know, 13 months, 16 months, if you want to get to 20. Now, it's hard to believe that you can do 20 if you've never done 20 in a year, right? Or it's hard to believe you could do 50 if you've never done 50 in a year, but eventually you're going to end up doing 15, 20, 30, 40 deals in a year. You have to kind of build yourself up to that. Okay. Now, you build yourself up by seeing yourself progress, by having successes, right? Because success builds that confidence within you. But the other thing that's building up here, this is really important. I talked about this many times, are skills. Okay. These are the skills you're learning. You're learning the skills of managing multiple deals at the same time. You're learning the skills necessary to be a successful real estate agent, writing competitive offers, managing your emotions, managing your clients' emotions, being able to negotiate, being able to um, to not only manage deals and be organized, but to manage the amount of money you're making too. So you're not spending it all, right? These are all skills, people. Skills. Ultimately, you need to develop your skill set. Your skill set determines how much money you make. It really does. Your skill set plus the energy and the time you put into your business equals the amount of money you make. Because, for instance, you want to be closing 3 deals a month, but you've only closed 1 and you don't really know how to manage 2, 3 deals at the same time, it feels like a little really overwhelming for you. Well, you need to establish a good skill set to be able to manage multiple deals at the same time so you can close 3, 4, or 5 deals in a month. The most deals I've closed in a month has been about 8 deals in a month. Okay. And so, but I need to be organized with that because, hey, 8 deals, okay, you have different deadlines that have to be on top of. There's different things going on. This shit hits the fan over here, shit hits the fan over here. I have to solve this problem, that problem. And like, it becomes overwhelming fast. If you only really closed like no more than one deal in a month, and that one deal overwhelmed you, right? Just imagine 3 or 4 or 8 in a month, right? You can get overwhelmed fast. So you need to develop the skill set to be able to manage your stress, to be able to manage your time, to be able to manage the multiple deals, to be able to manage the money you're making, to be able to manage your schedule. All that is comes down to skills, skills, skills. People who are making 300,000, 400,000, $1 million a year, you know what they have? They have the skill set necessary to be making that amount of money. Okay, that's key. The biggest thing here that you have to understand is that with every deal you close, you learn as much as you possibly can. Learn as much as you possibly can with every deal you close. Okay, learn as much as you possibly can about the loan side. Learn as much as you possibly can about the contracts and the documents you're using. Learn as much as you possibly can about managing your emotions, managing the deal itself. You don't keep track. Use your tracker where you're keeping track of the time frames, the deadlines, and everything. Right, keeping track of the amount of money you're making from each deal. Right, and managing that money, not just spending it all. Right now, okay, I made money. Let's go to Vegas. Let's put it all in red. Right, see what happens. No, don't do that, right? If you're gonna go to Vegas and gamble, okay, take 10% of it and just gamble that, but don't gamble 100% of it, okay? If you know how to like take percentages of the amount of money you make, and okay, I'm gonna put some here, put some here, put some here, and have different buckets, you can manage your money very successfully. And when you go to Vegas, you're not putting 100% of your money on red. You're only putting a portion of it, the portion you put aside on red or black or whatever, right? To gamble it away, right? Those are skills, people. All those are skills. People who make $1 million a year, right? They have a certain skill set, all right? That skill set allows them to make $1 million a year and allows them to manage themselves and do all this stuff with $1 million a year. All right. So that's key. The skill set is everything you're learning here. As you're progressing here and you're growing and closing deals and everything, your skill set is growing, your skill set is developing. And I think that what happens here is that you don't really believe you have the skill set necessary to make $100,000 a year, or maybe you don't believe you have the skill set necessary to make 200 or 300. Then start learning the skill set, right? A part of my job is to teach you as many skills as I possibly can. I can't dump all the skills on you at once because that's overwhelm. I'd rather you learn the skills gradually as you close deals, because that's the best way to learn, because you're applying the stuff, right? Through application, you're going to be learning faster, as opposed to, hey guys, let's have a 4-hour class on everything you need to learn and know about real estate, right? And sit down here for 4 hours and go over the stuff. No, to keep your attention for even like 20 minutes, it's a challenge, right? Because uh, uh, their attention level is very limited, right? So maybe 20 minutes, maybe 30 minutes, maybe at the most 40 minutes, I can keep your attention, right? If I'm really good at speaking and impacting, right? But beyond that, I lose you guys, right? That's why I keep these meetings fairly short, between 30 minutes to maybe at the most 40 minutes with you guys. But the skill set here, I'd rather you guys learn through experience, right? You learn through experience, because that's when you really, really learn it, because you're applying it, right? As opposed to me, hey, this is the contract. This is what it looks like. No, hey, you need to write a contract? Cool, write it up. We'll go over it. We'll get it done. These are the dates, whatever, right? I have videos that I've set up reviewing contracts and how to read them and things like that. But again, you reviewing that video over and over and over again is going to be helpful. But when you start actually writing the contracts and you're reading it yourself and using them and applying them, that's when you get more familiar with those documents. Okay. Same thing with the inspection objections, resolutions, the seller's property disclosure, the square footage disclosure, all basic documents that are part of the processes here, the closing instructions. And then what about the loan side? Yeah, the loan side, the best way to learn about the loan side is when you have a buyer who's using a loan to purchase a property, and you have a lender who can kind of explain to you, hey, this is what's going on, this is what's happening, this is what this is. And we do that, at least if you use Richard, he really does his best to do that, because I told him, hey, do that with my team, all right? That's what I told him. And so I want you guys to learn from that, because the truth is that those are skill sets. You're learning more about the loan side, right? The reason you want to learn about the loan side is because sometimes we see something a little differently that the lender doesn't see, that's a solution for them, right? And that's key. It helps you close more deals, right? What else, right? Managing your deals. Yes, if you have, again, more than one deal you're closing, you can get overwhelmed very quickly. If you get overwhelmed with just one deal, imagine having 2, 3, 4 deals under contract at the same time that you're closing in just a couple of weeks. And there's a lot of things you need to do. There's inspections, so you need to do inspection objections, and then all this stuff, right? And then you're calling your clients, you're updating them on the processes and what's going on, all this stuff. And there's deadlines, right? And you don't want to pass the deadlines, because then you can lose the earnest money. There's a lot going on there, right? So are you tracking that properly? Are you using the tracker? So these are all skills. And as you build up here, as you start making $100,000, $200,000 a year and everything, your skill set is building up. You're building up the skill set of somebody who can make 100, 200, 300, 400, $500,000 in a year, right? Another great skill set, which you're gonna, for those of you who want to get into it, is gonna be leadership. That's a skill set. If you know how to lead, if you know how to speak, if you know how to communicate, if you know how to impact people, if you know how to inspire people, you know how to motivate people, right? You know how to teach people and train people and coach people. That's a skill set. People get paid a lot of money to be in leadership positions, a lot of money. That's why you have CEOs making hundreds of millions of dollars a year, right? Because they're in the position of leadership. They have to make decisions. They have to know how to lead and inspire and be innovative and all this stuff, right? There's a lot of skills that go into that position. That's why they pay them as much as they do. So more than anything, be patient with yourself. Understand that you do have some subconscious beliefs that are going to probably prevent you from getting to the level you want to get to. But be patient with yourself, okay? Especially if you notice yourself self-sabotaging. That self-sabotage can manifest in a couple of different ways. One way it can manifest is like, I'm not going to do that today. I'm just gonna, I'm not going to do that today. If you catch yourself like saying that to yourself, like especially when you have things you need to do, and you're like, no, I'd rather take a break today, right? Look, taking a break is necessary. But if you're taking breaks when you really have a lot of things you need to get done, that's not the best time to do it. But that's a strong sign that you're self-sabotaging. It really is. Because why wouldn't you do it, right? Why wouldn't you get these things done? And as you don't do those things, that's where you start like kind of like pulling back, pulling back, pulling back. You're gonna notice that you're making less phone calls, you're posting less on Facebook, you're like doing less door knocks, you're doing whatever else you do, right, with your business to gain leads or to gain clients. And as you do less of that, you have less business. And he says, you have less business, you make less money, right? And you're doing that not because you're just tired or whatever. It's because you're really self-sabotaging, because you're not believing in this anymore. You're not believing in the 100K or the 200K or the 300K or whatever else, whatever number it's in your head. You're not believing in it. You don't think it's possible. Because why? Because subconsciously you don't believe it's possible. This is why you have to have your goals in front of you on a daily basis and really focus on this stuff. If you can visualize, that's another big thing, right? Visualize yourself closing 3 deals a month, right? My goal for every single one of you is all of you guys individually speaking, close at the very least 3 deals a month. Where 3 deals a month is just the basic what you do on a monthly basis. With how we get paid here, dude, you'd be making between $20,000 to $30,000 or more a month, closing 3 deals a month easily, depending on the price of the property, the commission, stuff like that, right? That's a lot of money for anybody. And that's what I really want for you guys. That's my goal for you guys. I have an affirmation where I state every member of my team closes at least 3 real estate deals every single month. That's my affirmation. I say it every morning because that's what I want for you guys, and I'll do my best to get you to that level, whatever I possibly can do. But obviously, you guys need to put the work in as well, right? That work, the time, the effort, because ultimately you guys manifest it. I don't manifest it for you, right? I can influence the manifestation, but I cannot manifest it for you because it's your life, right? And so you already know that I'm here to support you and help you with all those things. So if you notice yourself if you notice you're maybe self-sabotaging, step back for a moment. Like, dude, what am I doing? Why am I holding myself back? Like, I'm so close. I'm so close to doing 3 deals a month or getting the $100,000 for this year. You know, I'm at $80,000 this year, and then I'm holding myself back. Why am I getting comfortable with 80,000? No, I want to hit 100,000. That's my goal, right? I'm going to hit it. Like, you're going to have these conversations with yourself that you need to have. I have these conversations with myself all the time. It's just a normality for me, even though it may sound weird, but this is me fucking getting myself to do the things I need to do, right? I don't always want to get up in the morning. I don't always want to do everything that I need to do, but I push myself because it's either that or I settle, right? And I don't want to settle. I have a goal and I need to hit it. This is for me. This is for Fedra, for Bryson, for us, for my family. I want to make it happen, right? And it's not easy. 100% people, this is not an easy thing to do. This is incredibly challenging. But the challenges are internal. You know, we think it's something that's happening externally, but the truth is all these challenges, these psychological barriers that I continue to refer to, all these psychological barriers that may be here or here, they're all again internal, psychological, right? This is you versus you. Okay. You have to break through these barriers. Right. And the way you do it is you keep working, two, you keep focused, right? And three, notice when you start feeling discouraged, right? When you feel discouraged, like, whew, like what's happening? Why am I feeling discouraged? It's like, is it because I don't believe in myself? Because that's usually the thing that happens. You don't believe. This is when you want to really step up your game. You can talk to me and I can provide you with some help. But for the most part, it's going to be you doing everything you need to do on a daily basis to get yourself to believe in yourself. Okay. Because it's really up to you guys. I can't do it for you, but I can provide you with the tools, and I can also train you with the skills necessary to be able to overcome those challenges that you will face. Because I've already faced a lot of these challenges. Okay. And a lot of the things that I've taught you guys, especially with the binder and everything that I've taught you there, that's designed to assist you in staying focused, okay? That's what it's designed for. Everything you believe should be in that binder. And then new skill sets that I teach you should go into the index of that binder where you can continuously review it, because that's what it's designed to do. Your goals are in there. Basically your understanding of your reality is in there. You can go in there and review it, update it as necessary, add more skills to it, or strategies or tactics, whatever you want to call it, and just make sure it's in there and make sure to review it and use it, because through using it is when you get results, right? You don't get results by not using it, right? It's the same thing with real estate. Hey, this is how you do all this stuff in real estate, but great, if you're not out there closing deals, you're not making any money anyways, because you're not applying any of it. So it's the same thing with the binder. Review it, use it. Okay. That's why I had an entire week of training with you guys to set that thing up, right? With as much information that's useful for you as possible. And so continue to review that. And I want you guys to be as successful as you possibly can be. And that success really requires you to establish the mindset necessary of a successful person. Okay. The mindset of a successful person is going to get you to the success that you want. But a successful person thinks a very specific way, a very particular way. I think that's when you're molding yourself into that person, because it is possible. Change is very possible. So this is the main thing I really want to talk to you guys about. Pay attention if during the year, if you see yourself kind of self-sabotaging when you're breaking barriers, if you're making over, if you hit to the point where you made $60,000-$70,000 a year and your goal is to make $100,000 this year, and you can maybe see yourself slowing down, it's probably because you're self-sabotaging. Okay. And so pay attention to that. And then, like I said, every deal you close, build as many skills as you possibly can, learn as much as you possibly can. Okay. Because that skill set, again, the more skills you develop, the more money you make, right? Like I said, a person who's making $500,000 a year has a skill set necessary to be able to make that amount of money a year. Okay. And so if you want to get to that level, keep on building your skill set. That means you learn from every deal and learn as much as you possibly can about the real estate process as you close deals. Even if you're not closing deals, you can still be studying as well. And more importantly, focus on your goals, focus on what it is that you want to create for yourself, and then focus on any limiting beliefs that may be popping up in your life, right? So you can handle those limiting beliefs and replace them with beliefs that really empower you and change your life to help you grow and take your life to the next level, because that's what this is all about. You know, this is not just about real estate. This is not just about making money. This is improving the overall quality of your life, and it's all connected. Your personal life and your business life, they're intimately connected. They're not two separate things. They never have been. So the more you grow at a personal level, the more your business grows as well. Okay. And we talked about this before, right? So that was pretty much everything I really wanted to talk to you guys about today. Any questions, any comments before I let you guys go? Anything anybody wants to add that they've noticed through their experience? I know I'm not the only one who has experience here. All right, if you guys don't have anything to add to it, then I can let you guys go. Other than that, hey, I'll be available if you guys need anything. You guys have an awesome day.
Thank you, Rick. You too.
Thank you, Rick.
Thanks,
Yeah,
Rick.
Thank you guys. Thank you guys. Have
I
an awesome
didn't say much because I know that I'm analyzing what you said. And it's true, you know, every single thing.
No, I know. It's a lot of information I give you guys, but hey, if you guys need anything, you guys already know I'm available. Have an awesome day.
Thank you, you too. Bye-bye.